Hey, Michelle Richmond here. A few people have asked me to share a story following up on a post I did on Saturday morning. And I'd had a really interesting evening, an unexpected evening where I was having dinner with friends and somebody appeared in our garden in the dark, calling out my name. And it was the electrician who's working on our job site, which you may be able to hear in the background right now, building our house. And he was very shy, even when we're talking about lights and electrics. He hardly says anything. And so here he was in the dark, 9 o'clock on a Friday night, and his bottom lip was shaking, and he could hardly speak. And it's like, Andrew, what's wrong? You know, why are you here? It's very unusual. And he said, remember, Mama, that I told you my wife was having a baby? And so I was like, yeah, just tell me, just calm down, just breathe, just tell me what's happening. And he said she's in labor, and she's been in labor for 3 days, and she just is exhausted. She can't keep going anymore, and the doctors are on strike. They've been on strike for I think 4 months in Kenya now. So in the public hospital, and we went to the private hospital, and they won't give her a cesarean without money, without 60,000 shillings, which is about $600 in our money. And so I was like, okay, let me, talk to the Mosaic, talk to Nev, and let's see what we can do. Of course we're going to help you, right? Because here it is right here in this moment for $600 basically is a matter of life and death. And so Tina, my beautiful friend Tina Clark, is here, who's also on the board of my foundation. So we go, okay, let's see what's here. So we take Andrew and we drive down to the private hospital, and wow, I pulled into the drive, and in front of me is this woman, is his wife, 23 years old, sitting in the dirt, sitting in the driveway, in the dirt, leaning against the veranda post, because without the money, the hospital would not let her in. They would not even let her have a chair while he went trying to find the money somewhere. And I knew that he'd come to us, that he was desperate, because, right, it's a very big thing for a man to have to come in the middle of the night and ask you for money to save his wife. So, my inner kicked in, like, what the far out, what I was about to say. And let's just get her out of this, bring her into the hospital. And went in, and there was this receptionist who just had no connection at all. I was like, come on, like, you've had a baby and I've had babies, and like, would you want someone to do this to you? Like, let's help this woman, I'll pay the money, but please just call the surgeon right now. Like, this is an emergency. And basically her pelvis was too small, and the baby had been basically bumping on her pelvic floor for 3 days, and there was no way the baby was going to come out, and there was no way the hospital was going to help her without intervention, without money, basically, not intervention, without money. So I'm like, I'll send you the money. Nev's at home, we're going to M-Pesa you the money. We'll send you the money because I don't have the cash on me. But please just pick up that phone and get me your best surgeon right now. I just want the best surgeon. She's like, they're all the same. And I was seriously pissed off. And so I said, just appealing to her compassion as a woman, can you please just, if it was you in this case, who would you call if this was about you? Anyway, the long and the story short was, being a Mzungu, a white person, and having the money, I was like, Nev got the money there straight away and let me talk to the locum. And I walked in and he goes, well, I don't really know what's happening here. I just come on board to work. Can you tell me what's happening here? And I said, well, this is what I know. So like, just get me somebody to look after her. So I stayed with her, and Tina was in the background working things out and just being with her. When I got everything sorted and the anesthetist and the surgeon were on their way, I just went and sat next to her. By this time her husband had got her inside, and I put her in my arms, and she just fell into me. She just collapsed in my arms and just kept whispering, God bless you, God bless you. And she was so broken, and she was so tired, and she was so terrified because no one would help her. Like, where is the compassion? I really struggle with how humanity can be so cold. So the upside is I stayed with her, and Tina was in the background working things out, and held her hand and said, breathe. I'm really bad at childbirth, by the way. I'm really bad at this stuff, so it's like, just breathe, as if I knew what I was doing. And held her hand and stayed with her and told her it's going to be okay. We're going to get this sorted. There'll be a surgeon here in a minute and we'll get it fixed. And the surgeon came in and did the checkup and said, yeah, this is an emergency. We need to operate straight away. Within 15 minutes, half an hour, we will have this baby out and everything will be okay. And I realized in that moment, he said to me, so how do you know her? I thought in that moment, I don't even know her name, right? But it's just a beautiful woman, a young girl, 23 years old, no mother, her mother had died, no family, a really shy husband who was terrified equally with her. And the situation in the private hospital, I have to tell you, would horrify me. It horrified me, and it would horrify you. As the drip was sort of hanging off the cupboard, they were saying, just hold your arm in the air, because the cannula was in here. Just lean your arm against the wall. So here she is 3 days later having these massive contractions, having to hold her arm against the wall so the cannula didn't do whatever it was meant to do. There were no sheets, there was nothing to put over her to keep her private. It was like just an awful situation, and the doctor was like, do you have a Kikoya sarong? And I was like, I don't have anything. Like, I've just come here. And then they said, just take off your dress. And they left her standing there naked with all these men. And I'm like, for God's sake, give this woman a gown, leave her dignity. Anyway, it went on a little bit, and the good news is the anesthetist arrived and they whisked her off to surgery, and half an hour later she delivered a healthy, beautiful baby boy. And wow, I was just so humbled. I was so grateful. And the next morning, when I woke up and just wrote a post about how grateful I am to be me, and how grateful I am that I have what I have, so I can say, yes, of course, I'll get you the money, I will help you, which happens every day here, right? It happens every day, but this is a very special case. But it was more than that, and what I wrote about in my post which was just, come in reflection on the evening, is how grateful I am that 20 years ago, when my life was in the toilet and I felt broken and I had lost myself, and I said, I just need to find another way, that I said yes. And when possibilities came, even though it was scary and I didn't know what that would look like, I said yes. And I was really humbled when I wrote the post about like how grateful I am for who I am and how my life's changed, and how through my greatest adversities I was able to find myself. And I'm really wanting to say to you, to people who are just scared of like jumping in and discovering who they truly are and saying yes to more love and more passion and more joy in their life, and to being the most brilliant expression of themselves, I was really wanting to speak to them. But what equally humbled me was that when I wrote that post, was how much love came back to me, about how many people I've known since I was at school wrote and responded to that post about with gratitude back to me, and that also humbled me. People who've shaped me and who we've touched each other's lives. So I guess I don't even know what I'm saying to you. I'm just saying, you know what, be love, live joyfully, be the most brilliant expression of yourself. Don't be afraid to make change. If you're not happy where you are, if you're not loving what you do, if you know you've got some latent gift inside of you that will make an impact in the world, or just get off your kabuti and jump through the fear and just say yes. Because when you do that, your world will be richer, will be brighter, will be more expansive than you can possibly imagine, in really mysterious ways. And you can just do shit in the world you never imagined that you could do, simply because you said yes to living your life with love, with joy, with just total transformation and transmutation of all the things that you think you never could do or can't be. I'm telling you right here, right now, drop the story, get on with it, be the fabulous, most brilliant expression of yourself. Because when you do, shiitake happens, things get real, and you cannot even imagine what change you can make in your world and in the world of others. That's it from me. Bit of a ramble. Thank you for listening. See you soon. Bye for now.